everybody, good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us online here at the Commons. We're in the library here today. If you don't know about the Commons already, my name is Natalie. I work here at the library as part of the Knowledge and Learning Commons, the team here. And this is a space for us to be able to collaborate and share knowledge. It's especially designed for UN diplomats, staff and interns across the UN Geneva system. And over the past few months, due to COVID, we've been having our Commons sessions online on a range of topics. We've been looking particularly at mental health and well-being, especially during this time of COVID. We've also been looking at learning through conflict resolution, particularly in more international settings like the UN. Also, we had an event run by our interns for interns on their outlooks and what skills they would need, especially during a time of a crisis. Today, we are continuing online, but we're really lucky to be back here in the library, and our speakers are actually here with us. Our attendees are all online. Thank you so much for joining us. As summer begins, we actually have a very fun, we hope, session for you on what to do in summer in Geneva. You can see it here on the screen now. We have our colleagues here from the CAGI as well as Geneva Tourism who are going to share today the many things that you can actually do here in Geneva and the surrounding areas if you're staying here for the summer, as many of us are, and we hope that you can take a break very soon. They've actually got lots to share. There's really a lot that you can do in the region to spend time with your family, your friends, your close ones, while of course staying careful and as safe as possible. I'd like to introduce our speakers to you now. They're on the screen now. From the CAGI, we have Michael Cochet. He is going to be presenting at the end of the presentation a little bit more about the International Geneva Welcome Center, what's on offer for you as diplomats, as international staff across international Geneva to be able to support you here. From our Geneva Tourism side, we have Tiffany Démétriadès, we have Jenna de Fuente, and Nicholas Oberson. Thank you so much for joining us here in the library. They're going to be presenting for about 30 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes on a range of topics. And after that, we can have Q&A with you, some questions and answers. But please don't hesitate to ask those questions actually throughout the session. You'll see on the right-hand side of your screen that you can write any questions that come up to you from CAGI or from Geneva Tourism, and we'll be able to answer them at the end of the session. But feel free to put them into the Q&A straight away as they come to you. You can actually ask them in English or in French, whichever language is most comfortable for you. And we're going to take a look at those after the presentation. Now, don't worry, we're going to also record this session and also have available on our website the PDF version of the slides, because there is a lot of information and links that you might want to refer back to later. So don't worry, that will be available later on our website. Enough from me. I'm going to pass over to our speakers in the library events room. Firstly, over to Tiffany. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Natalie. Hello, everyone. We're really happy to be here today to present to you what you will be able to do this summer. So don't worry, between concerts, activities and excursion, you will have more than enough to do. As mentioned by Natalie, we will give an overview, a quick overview of what will be going on this summer, but you will have the presentation in PDF and the presentation recorded online. So don't worry, all the information will be there. So let's start with the summer events. So concerning the events, you will have different events such as concerts, theaters and drive-in cinema, the Alliance Drive-in Cinema in Palexpo. The concerts will be held in different parks, but also by the lake in Ban-et-Paquis with Les Aubes, that are sunrise concerts, live concerts. For the National Day, there will not be any big event in the Parc Lagrange, but the city of Geneva is planning different small events in various places in Geneva. So you will have the information on their website. Also, don't forget to check on the commune's websites. For other events, so also, as I said, in different parks by the lake, but also in Geneva's countryside, you will have the open wineries in different vineyards, but also the Geneva Street Food Festival end of August, the Rallye Gourmand mid of August, that is in Geneva's countryside. Geneva Street Food Festival in the English Garden, and the Geneva Beer Festival, where you can taste different typical Swiss beers and Geneva beers. Of course, we don't forget the museums and the art galleries in Geneva city center, in different areas such as Quartier des Bains, Old Town and Eau Vive area, but also in the Nations area. So I let Jenna explain Parks and Gardens.
Hello everyone, I'm very happy to be here with you for this online conference. So let's continue with a bit of nature. Geneva is one of the greenest cities in Europe with a wide range of green areas. So we are very lucky to have a lot of parks and gardens on the left bank, but also on the right bank. So you will find many equipments, paddling pools for the kids, but also some lawn chairs, special barbecue areas. So that's fantastic to have a nap on the grass, to have a picnic with friends. So feel free just to enjoy those very peaceful places this summer in Geneva. Let's continue with the beautiful Geneva's countryside. There are more than 350 kilometers of hiking trails in the canton of Geneva, so we are very lucky for that. You could go for a hike, for example, in the vineyards or by the side of the river or by the side of the lake. You can, of course, on the links, download some maps and your itineraries as well. You can also enjoy a nature center. You can go through the vineyards for wine testing and discover the fantastic local wine productions in the canton of Geneva, such as the Chasselas, for example, or even go for a visit in the cellars. Do not forget, if you don't do what you could do on Sunday, to go for a brunch in the countryside, or also for self-picking if you want to grab some vegetables, fruits, or even to buy some plants. Now, for bike tours, you have so many options to enjoy a bike ride in the canton of Geneva. Of course, you can rent a free bike for 4 hours with the company Genève Roule, but also if you're like me or Tiffany, for example, you can rent an e-bike. That's so convenient for that. Maybe I can focus on a special event, which is the Cycling Saturdays. Those are free guided visits with your own bike, accompanied with the guide, and you can discover the canton of Geneva. The next one will take place this Saturday on the 4th of July, then the second one on the 1st of August, and even mid-September. So that's fantastic to enjoy this kind of events. Of course, you have other special routes and even special apps for the advanced cyclists, for example. I let Nicolas continue.
Hello there. So I'm sure with the heat that's coming up, a lot of you are going to want to take a dip in the lake. So I'm going to present to you here, a lot of the beaches that we have around Geneva. So you'll have a list here. I'm not going to go through all of them, but you will find the websites and where to find them. Some of them will be, very few will be paid entry, other ones will be free. Do note that the Plage des Eaux Vives is only opening on the 22nd of August. Otherwise, all the others are freely available. Check online to make sure with the restrictions due to COVID-19 or any safety measures, you'll find them on the website. Now for the next slide, we're going to talk, if you don't want to bathe in the lake, we also have swimming pools. Those are also accessible. Again, check the schedules on their websites, swimming pool or hot baths. We do have a couple of those, hammams, saunas, and all of those to make you feel good after a stressful day. Those are also available. And we also have not just swimming on the lake, but for the next slide, we're going to be talking about the cruises. So obviously we have a big lake, one of the biggest in Western Europe, and you have many ways to enjoy it, be it on a big boat, one of those cruises that last for an hour, 2 or 3. You also have cruises on the Rhone River, so going downstream for about 3 hours. Check those online as well, because they don't run all the time. You also can rent, if you don't want to be on one of the big boats, you can rent small boats, be they pedal boats or electrical boats without license. If you have a license, you can rent motor boats or even sailboats. So check those as well. It can be a nice way to enjoy the lake. And I'm sure you've seen those little yellow boats that cross between both banks. Those are freely available with the TPG public transport system. So if you have a ticket or a card, those are included already. Now, the lake can also be on a part to do sports. So you do have different sports, be paddle, stand-up paddle, or all of the sports you can find on the water. Windsurfing, those are also available. You find the websites right here. And if you want to do sports but not necessarily on the water, that'll be on the next slides. It'll be paragliding, rafting, or canoe or kayaking. You have plenty of different sports to enjoy in Geneva, tennis, and all of those. And I think now it's your turn to speak, so I'll let Tiffany speak.
No, it will be Jenna's, but I'll just want to, with the previous slide, the City of Geneva is organizing this year outdoor free sport classes in different places in Geneva, so you just have to check online and book in advance. So I'll let Jenna continue with the walking tours.
Yeah, let's talk about the different walking tours we do organize this summer. So Geneva Tourism organizes themed guided tours every Saturday with a professional guide for approximately 2 hours. That's the perfect way to enjoy and discover Geneva. For example, it could be the secrets of Geneva, about sustainability, or even by the side of the water. So that's quite interesting. And also every Saturday afternoon, the traditional walking tour of the Old Town. So feel free just to contact us for that. You also have other themed guided tour about fine watchmaking, but also my favorite one, which is the chocolate flavors tours. This one is just fantastic. This is a 3 hours walking tour through the Old Town, but above all, with more than 12 chocolate testing in famous chocolate shops in the Old Town of Geneva, and some famous and very local pastries. So you have many options to enjoy and discover Geneva and its history. Just to add that the public guided tours that we do organize every Saturday are completely free in our Geneva City Pass, which is a fantastic option to discover Geneva, and it includes more than 30 free activities. So I do really recommend that option if you welcome friends or family, for example. You could also try other very fun guided tours. So you have mini train tours in the Old Town, on the left bank, on the right bank, but also across the international area that I know that you know perfectly. Some Segway tours, that's also very fun to go for a Segway tour by the side of the lake or through the Old Town, for example. Taxi bike tours, but also for people who like sport, the Go Running Tours Geneva, that combines sightseeing experience with great workout. So no worries, this is approximately 8 kilometers. You have different levels. That's also a very good option to discover and explore Geneva. Tiffany, let's continue. Thank you.
So let's talk now about the bars and terraces and nightlife. So you see on the slide that there are many different bars, terraces, and nightlife places. So on the right bank, on the left bank, in the parks, but also by the lake, and on the lake. For example, the Bateau Lavoir, Bateau Genève, and the Bateau Terraces. You can check online. Most of them have a Facebook page or a website. Next slide, you have the pop-up terraces that are there only during summer. So we have Bronzette on the right bank, that is next to the Bain des Paquis. Les Jardins du Rhône, that is just after the Pont des Bergues on the left bank. The Village Suisse in the English garden with the Ferris wheel. and the bateau terrace that I mentioned just before on the right bank between the Pont du Mont Blanc and the Bain Paquis. It's brand new and it's really nice. You can go also for lunch. So there are bars, but also restaurants where you can eat for lunch, and for dinner you have tapas, you have also the possibility to go for an after work with your colleagues. All of them are just wonderful. I'll let Jenna continue with the family moments.
Thank you, Tiffany. If you're still looking for some things to do with your kids this summer, you will find here in this slide a summary of activities for families with very small kids, but also teenagers. Some activities in the nature, in the museums, by the side of the lake, some farm activities like horse riding, for example. We talked before about the fruits and flowers picking. It could be also animals discovery. We have the botanical garden for that. We have the Bois de la Bâtie, the vivarium in Mérin. So you have plenty of things to do with your kids. And also, that's very fun, the Parc Aventure Genève with treetop courses. You have giant zip lines. That's perfect for kids aged from 3 years old until 14, I would say. So that's perfect. And also the water amusement park of Yatouland, which will be this summer in Vernier Stadium from the 16th of July until the 23rd of August. Then let's go outside of Geneva with Nicolas.
Right, so as much as we want you to enjoy Geneva, we'd be wrong not to tell you about what there is to do outside of it. So those are going to be one-day excursions. So if you want to go to the mountain, you might have noticed Geneva doesn't have any mountains, so you'll have to go outside for that, be it Mont Blanc, be it the Salève mountain, which is the closest one, or Glacier 3000 on the other side of the lake. Now, Glacier 3000, the cool thing is it's a glacier, so you do have snow all year round, so even now, if you want to go there. We also have cities and towns around the lake. Those are freely accessible, like Vevey and Montreux, which are very artistic cities. Vevey is home to Charlie Chaplin's museum, since he lived there quite a lot of years. You have Lausanne, which is the Olympic city, also accessible easily even by boat or by train. And Annecy, which is a smaller village located in France by another lake, not the same lake, but it's also called the Venice of the Alps. It's really, really nice, nifty little village. And for the next slide, we'll have also smaller villages like Ivoire, where you have the Garden of the Five Senses. It's also something nice to see. The village of Gruyère, the medieval village and medieval town of Gruyère, where the cheese Gruyère is made, obviously. So it has a museum for the cheese and the chocolate caillé. And we also have plenty of other small villages. Vouvray also, which is a vapor park with many miniature trains that are also quite nice. Saint-Sergue, La Pure, La Givrine, those are villages by the Jura Mountains. So those are also further out, but still within an hour and 10 minutes of Geneva if you want to have a walk on a smaller mountain, because it's about 1,500 meters. Those are great. Now, do keep in mind that some of them, Mont Blanc, Ivoire, Annecy, are in France. So if you're planning on going there, take your passport with you, because that's going to be needed. Now, if you want to go further away, on the next slide, if you want to spend a weekend or more, we have several different weekend or more excursions. The first one being the Grand Tour of Switzerland. If you've got a car and you like road trips or you want to rent one, the Grand Tour is for you. It's about 1,600 kilometers, taking you through all of Switzerland. They recommend doing it in 7 days, a week. That could be actually really nice. If you don't want to drive or don't like driving, you have the equivalent with the Swiss Grand Train Tour, which is panoramic trains, 8 journeys, taking you throughout Switzerland. Check those online, because they can be quite long. You're sitting in a train for 5 hours, but it is beautiful scenery, really taking you through all of Switzerland. For a more, I'd say, historical part of Switzerland, you have Ballenberg, which is a open-air museum about the historical part of Switzerland, historical buildings. It's interactive, so you can churn your own butter, you can do a lot of things and learn how early settlers of Switzerland lived. And for another historical region, you have the Vierwaldstättersee, which is the lake of the 4 woodland canton, which is historical Switzerland. When Switzerland was formed in 1291, those were the first canton, to secede, and to form Switzerland. So those are really around a beautiful lake with a lot of mountains. Those are typical Swiss villages, I'd say. On the next slide, we also have more Swiss villages. We'll have a lot of nature parks as well. Switzerland is thankfully very green, so there's a lot of nature parks scattered all over. Further away from Geneva, you have typical villages, those closer to Interlaken, for example, Lauterbrunnen, which I'm sure a lot of you will have heard of. Those are easily accessible. We recommend spending more than a day there to really enjoy the scenery. And for another part of Switzerland that's not often displayed here is Ticino. That's the tropical area of Switzerland where they speak Italian, and they have a very Italian-oriented culture and architecture with a lot of dolce vita and lakes and everything. So it's quite enjoyable. And I think I'll give my colleague Tiffany the rest of the speech.
So where can you find most of these information? So you have different websites. For the agenda, what's on, it's our online agenda. For now, the page is still hidden because of the COVID situation. All the events were cancelled, but now we're updating it. So by next week, normally, it will be again online. Otherwise, you have the Décadence that is more concerning more the nightlife part. The city guide Genève en été, that is regrouping all the events and activities that you can do in Geneva this summer. And of course, the app Swiss Events, that is more general for Switzerland. I'll let Jenna continue with the clean and safe label.
I'd like just to add one word regarding the current situation due to the COVID-19 in Switzerland. You just have to know that many tourism providers have got now the clean and safe label. So they have implemented many safety measures to protect their guests. They have different protocols depending on the tourism sector, could be for accommodation, catering industry, but also transportation or navigation on the lake. So if you want to read more about all the different protocols and measures, you can, of course, click on the link on the presentation we will send you afterwards. Where can you find us? That's a very good question. If you have more questions at the end of the presentation, of course, you can find many information in CAGI. Michael will give you more details just after my presentation, but you can also find us, Geneva Tourism, our tourist information center, in the post office of Mont Blanc, on the Rue du Mont Blanc 18. We will be open and available for you all summer. We have just special opening hours, so feel free to come to visit us. It will be a pleasure. Our colleagues are very kind, and yeah, you are always welcome to come to visit us. So, Michael, thank you.
Wow. So many things to do during summer. As well, very international, I'm going to speak in French today. Je voulais vraiment vous remercier, vous savez quoi? Parce que j'ai pris plein de notes et je me suis déjà fait mon petit programme pour l'été, donc ça c'est génial et j'espère que ce sera exactement la même chose pour vous. Je m'appelle Michael Cochet, je suis responsable de la communication et du service événementiel au CAGI et je suis également le responsable du kiosque culturel qui est au Palais des Nations et c'est principalement là-dessus que j'aimerais insister aujourd'hui avec vous. Donc, depuis plus de 20 ans, le CAGI a un kiosque culturel qui est basé en plein cœur du Palais des Nations, à la porte C6, pour ceux qui connaissent. Donc, j'ai une équipe de 4 collaborateurs donc, qui se partagent un petit peu donc, un plein temps donc, pour être disponible pour vous, que ce soit des employés aussi des Nations Unies, mais également des organisations internationales qui ont accès au Palais. C'est un point de vente unique de billets au sein même de l'UNOG. L'avantage que ça a, c'est que nous avons tous les systèmes de billetterie automatisés et informatisés, que ce soit Fnac, Ticket Corner, Infomaniac et j'en passe, puisqu'il y en a quand même beaucoup d'autres. Mon équipe est à votre disposition pour compléter un petit peu ce qui a été dit par mes collègues de Genève Tourisme, puisque nous assurons aussi un relais pour tout ce qui est information touristique, sur la Genève pratique également, Donc l'équipe est là pour vous, donc surtout pour ceux qui ont accès au Palais des Nations, surtout n'hésitez pas à aller les voir, l'équipe est super sympa, enfin, comme nous tous. Donc, j'espère que c'est un petit peu l'impression aussi que vous avez aujourd'hui en ligne. Chose importante, le CAGI négocie des tarifs préférentiels, donc vous avez la possibilité d'acquérir des billets de spectacles, de festivals ou autres. Bon, bien que les festivals, ça va être un petit peu compromis quand même cet été, mais il y a quand même beaucoup d'autres activités qui sont aussi gratuites. Donc on sait aussi faire le relais d'activités gratuites aussi sur Genève. Et tout ça pour vous dire que chaque semaine, le Palais des Nations communique par broadcast les différentes offres tarifaires que nous vous proposons. C'est de l'ordre, par exemple, d'un billet acheté, un billet offert, donc ça vaut quand même la peine parce que vous achetez un billet et vous pouvez inviter quelqu'un de votre choix, donc ça c'est plutôt sympa. Ça peut être aussi un pourcentage de réduction qui peut, au minimum en tout cas 20%, donc là aussi ça peut être intéressant. Et nous tissons également notre toile un petit peu sur la Suisse en général. Donc voilà, il y a des choses assez intéressantes en tout cas à voir. Donc chaque semaine, il y a un broadcast qui part aussi du Palais, mais ce que je voudrais ajouter, c'est que le CAGI lui-même envoie un weekly email, chaque semaine aux organisations internationales, aux missions permanentes, aux ONG. Et je sais ce que vous allez me dire parce que je vais anticiper un petit peu la question, mais voilà, je ne reçois pas ni le broadcast de l'ONU, ni le weekly email du CAGI. Comment je peux me tenir informé? Alors n'hésitez pas à aller voir justement l'agenda du Kiosk culturel sur le site du CAGI. Donc quand vous allez sur la homepage, sur le www.cagi.ch, vous verrez, il y a une rubrique Kiosk culturel et vous aurez accès à l'agenda. Et là, vous pourrez prendre connaissance de toutes ces offres que nous négocions pour vous. Voilà, donc vous pourrez aller faire un petit peu la sélection de ce qui peut vous intéresser et outre de ce qu'on peut vous proposer comme tarif, il y a également plein de recommandations qui viennent compléter justement ce qu'on vous a proposé aujourd'hui, voilà, que ce soit des excursions ou autres. Donc on va faire le relais également de Genève Tourisme au sein du Palais des Nations. Pour rester informé, parce qu'on a le site du CAGI, mais il y a également le compte Twitter. Donc vous voyez à l'écran l'adresse, enfin le compte qui est CAGI Geneva. Et là-dessus, écoutez, non seulement nous mettons des informations à destination des internationaux, mais également tout ce qui est information culturelle et événementielle. Donc surtout, n'hésitez pas à nous suivre. Moi, il me reste en tout cas à vous souhaiter un excellent été. Restez à Genève, il y a plein de choses à faire. Merci de votre attention.
Parfait. Merci beaucoup, Michael, Tiffany, Nicholas, and Jenna. Our speakers have shared a lot today. There's actually so much going on. We can't be bored staying in Geneva and here in the surrounding areas. There's actually a lot of questions coming in. So thank you for your questions. Some of them have already been answered, especially with regard to the presentation. Yes, it will be available afterwards because there's a lot of links in there that you perhaps want to go and look at in more detail. So it's going to be available on our website after this session as well as the recording. So thanks for asking that question. There's a lot of other ones coming in though, and so we will get to answering them. But firstly, we wanted to remind you of a save the date for the next Commons Masterclass. It's a night masterclass on the 9th of July. It's going to start at 5 p.m. for an hour and a half. Now, this is with Professor Raphael Cohen. He's from the University of Geneva, and he's looking at how we can, in new ways and new paradigms, manage teams in a less hierarchical, less traditional manner. So I guess with COVID as well, a lot of this more flexibility, working in new ways is essential and it's very important. So please join us if you'd like to learn more about this topic. Registration is essential. So head on over to our website so that you can register and get the link to join us next Thursday, starting at 5 p.m. Also, just a reminder of our website. Some of you have asked the question about the websites. If you would like to find our website, we're going to put it on the screen for you now. It's commons.ungeneva.org. And there you can find all of the information from our events as well as this one. If you'd like to give us feedback on the session, what needs to be improved, what you'd like to see in the Commons, also you can scan this QR code using your phone if that's easier and provide us some feedback there. We're more than happy to receive your feedback. Okay, great. So let's get to the questions. There was a question about events that are suitable for kids 3 to 4 years old. We hope that Jenna's slide was useful for you and that there's enough information there. But don't hesitate, of course, to contact Geneva Tourism with the email in the slides if you would like to find out more, particularly for that age. We do have a question about the open wineries. Is it still the same as previous years? With one glass, you have access to all participating wineries, or more like a wine tasting with one winery only? Do we have any information on that, our Geneva Tourism colleagues?
Yes, we do. So just concerning the question for the 3 to 4 years old events, the Théâtre de l'Orangerie, that is starting today and until the 26th of September. There are a lot of different ateliers for children and also different theater plays for young children. Also, don't forget the different live concerts that are for any age, and the National Day, also the Rallye Gourmand, that is a festival in Geneva's countryside to taste the different local food and local production. And also during the Bâti Festival, you will have different events, theaters, but also dance performances and live concerts. So yes, of course, this is for also young children. Concerning the open wineries, no, the concept is different this year. Normally it was during May. So this year you have to book in advance for one cellar. You can also book various sellers, but you have to book online in advance because, of course, due to the situation, there is a limit of places. And for the glass, I think you receive one glass and you can, if you go to different sellers, you can keep the same one, I think. But it's not the same concept this year. Okay. And it's every Saturday until normally September, but you can check online on Genève Terroir.
Thank you, Tiffany. Great. We do have a question. Is there a similar presentation for the Canton de Vaud? Nicholas, you did mention a little bit about areas outside Geneva. Do you have any more information about where people could go if they want to find out even more what's happening in Canton de Vaud?
Yeah, sure. So you can, if it's specific to the Canton de Vaud that you want to find out, they have websites for the local tourism offices, for example. Lausanne Tourisme would be probably a good start because it is the main city in Canton de Vaud. And then it really depends what you're into. If you're more for the lake part, that would be Montreux-Lausanne. If you're more for the mountains, those are going to be probably other, like maybe Saint-Cergue, Neige-la-Givrine, or those general around ones. But if you contact Lausanne Tourisme, you can ask them, I want to do this, I'm going to go to the mountains. They'll be able to tell you where to go, which tourism office to contact to have the best information that you can have, because they know their local areas. Same thing for other cantons. So we have 26 in Switzerland. If you want to visit a specific one, contact the biggest tourism office there, and they'll know where to steer you to ask your questions. Yeah.
Otherwise, but the exact same presentation, no, this is Geneva Tourism Office, CAGI and UNOG that is organizing this presentation. But also you can go on My Switzerland, that is the Switzerland Tourism Office. They really did a great job concerning all the excursions and activities and events that you can find in all the cities, most of the big cities in Switzerland. So go on their website, go on our website. We also have a lot of information concerning activities, excursions, packages, etc. Yep.
Great, thank you. We do have a question about the trains. Could I get a day pass for using the normal and commuter trains? And also, should I ask the municipality in Geneva? Should they head over to TPG for that?
Not really. So if you live in the canton of Geneva or in Geneva city, you have to go to Espace Ville de Genève, which is the administration of the city of Geneva, which is located next to Jonction. This is on the Boulevard Karl Vogt number 2, and they have the carte journalière for the inhabitants of the city of Geneva. So they have a limited number of cards per person per day. So you can contact them. I can even give you the number right now. This is 022-418-9900. You can contact them and they will tell you exactly, because if you live in the city of Geneva, you are actually on the list. So you can get this. If you live in another city in the canton of Geneva, you have to go to the town hall directly.
And book those in advance as well. As you said, there are limited numbers. You can check those online on their websites. So if you know you have this particular weekend and you really want to go out there, book it in advance, buy it in advance, so it has, so you don't have a bad surprise.
And also, if you live, for example, in Chambézy, let's take Chambézy, for example, you have to go directly to the mairie for this carte journalière. The city of Geneva is really for the city of Geneva inhabitants.
Okay, great. Very useful. I hope our colleague out there asking the question got that number. Thank you. I think this might be a question for Nicolas. Can you clarify when the new beach next to the baby plage will open?
The Plage des Eaux Vives. He said it during the presentation, so it will be opening
22nd of August.
22nd.
It's scheduled to be opened on the 22nd of August, the big one. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. So our next question. Cheese and chocolate are very related to winter, agreed, but also I eat chocolate all year round.
We don't agree, but yeah. Okay.
But fair question. Do you think it's fine to visit Gruyère in August? Good question. Over to you, colleagues.
Yeah, in my opinion, definitely yes.
Of course.
Because you have many terraces that's very green.
It's charming. It's charming.
Yeah, flowers everywhere in the village.
Medieval village.
Yeah, and I mean, in Geneva, but also in other different cities in Switzerland, all the restaurants have reopened now. So feel free just to hang out, to enjoy. The Castle of Gruyère is also fantastic. You have the cheese factory, the Maison du Gruyère, that you can visit to see how they produce the cheese during the morning. And then if you have a car, for example, you can go to Molaison-sur-Gruyère, which is just I would say 10-15 minutes drive from Gruyère. That's fantastic. You have farms, hiking.
And we're the first big fans of having a fondue during summer, so cheese fondue. So yeah, we don't agree. It's not a winter thing.
It's local wine, that's perfect.
Fondue is a year thing.
Exactly.
Like eating hot.
Great. I think this is a question, the next one, about the website Geneva en été. Will there be new information added soon on the site?
So the application Genève en été is not yet, as for the agenda on our website, is not yet fully updated because, well, of the situation, but also because we're having new information concerning events and activities day per day. I mean, it's really, and it will be like that during all summer. So yes, upload it. And yes, please go on our website too. It will be like this during all summer. We'll be updating every week with new activities, events, and excursions.
Okay, great. Thank you, Tiffany. This might be a question now for Michael. It's an announcement from one of our attendees about a hike going on for CAGI members on Sunday, the 9th of August in the Swiss Jura. Do you know about that one, Michael? And do you have any more information about that?
No, I have no information for the moment about that at all.
Thank you, attendee, for mentioning. If you want to join, I guess you could go ask about the CAGI membership and the hike on the 9th of August. It's going to be in the La Givrine, Saint-Serge. Okay, thank you. We do have actually a request. Will we be able to organize similar events for Geneva throughout the entire year? What to do in autumn, winter, or spring?
Well, excuse me, I didn't get the question.
We have a suggestion from one of our attendees to have these events also about the winter season, even about the autumn, all seasons basically?
We're doing this presentation for summer because normally people leave for summer to discover other countries or to visit the family. And we used to do this presentation especially for summer to show that, yes, there are a lot of things to do in Geneva and in Switzerland, but this year is even more special because of the situation. No, for now, we're not planning on doing any presentation for the other seasons, but continue going on our website, geneve.com. We're the tourism office, so we're here to show what's to do in Geneva for every season. So, and call us, send us an email. We're here to answer all your questions.
Yeah, we are open all year round, so just feel free to
During
by or
weekend.
give us a call.
Yes, and also for tickets, we're normally, well, not now because of the situation. We're normally open on Sundays, but now during summer we will be closed, but we'll be open from Monday to Saturday from
10 to 4, from Monday to Friday from 10 to 4, on Saturday from 9 to 5 p.m. and close on Sunday. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. With regard to some of the hikes, would they be suitable also for children around 3 to 4 years old? Is a question from Giulietta. Thank you, Giulietta.
That will depend on the hikes. You have a lot, if you go around Sancerre, La Givrine, those are very suitable. Those are very easy hikes for children. In winter you can go, there's a lot of, it's very children oriented since the Jura is a smaller mountain than the Alps. Those are definitely doable with children. Now it depends really what you want. You can also do longer ones, which would be more adult oriented, but it really is kids friendly. That's very easy, and it's not far from Geneva either.
Great.
Yeah, even the content of Geneva and Geneva's countryside, you have paths that are quite flat and easily accessible for families, even by the side of the river. Yeah, of course, if you go after the presentation on the links, you can download the special map. You will see you have different names for the hikes. And then always you have a kind of key with all the description. If you're looking for something for families, how many hours, if it's easily accessible by train, of course, because so many are accessible by regional train, for example, you have all the descriptions.
Great, thank you. There is a question about exchange language activities. Will there be any on offer from Geneva Tourism or the CAGI during the summer for adults to do language exchanges together?
So, do you want to answer?
We don't really organize a lot of events. We'll tell you information about where you can find those.
Touristic information.
Yeah, we have touristic information. We don't organize them. Those would be more other companies. Maybe CAGI has some of them.
Okay, so we have the conversation exchange program at CAGI, but it will be only online at this moment. But we still have this activity. Yes.
Great, thank you. Thanks to all the colleagues. There is also a question about, for CAGI, Michael, if you know anything more about the Charlie Chaplin Museum and any special prices from CAGI.
I have a very good news. Yes, we have a specific price for Charlie Chaplin Museum since the beginning, in fact. When the museum opened, I think now it's over 2 years or 3 years, more or less. Since the beginning, we have a special price for the ticket. Yes.
It's fantastic, by the way.
Yeah.
It's really an amazing experience.
Yeah.
It's not only a museum. This is it's go to the studios.
Old manor, first of all, and they transformed.
And you know what?
it
I
in a
went
museum.
there 5 times.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
It's
wonderful.
beautiful, really.
And for the kids as well, since it's interactive and you see half movie studio and half his house, his actual manor. So it's really nice.
I also recommend, I went there and learned so much that I didn't know about Charlie Chaplin, so definitely check it out. We do have a few more questions regarding the trains. Is there a train pass for Geneva and Vaud, other than the community train ticket?
So there are Geneva and Vaud itself, yes and no. So there's not a specific train pass that you would have For those two regions, there is a broader one, Les Monts. What? First of all, you have the Swiss pass. The Swiss pass for the whole of Switzerland. Those are for 3, 4, 5, 8, or 15 days. And those give you access to all of the trains in Switzerland. So those would be either consecutive days, so 3 consecutive days, or 3, 5, 8, 15 days in a month. So do check those. Those would be more on the CFF website. I don't know if it cut out. So for the train ones, you have the Swiss passes, as I said. You'll find more information on the CFF website or sbb.ch. Those are the train websites. And those are passes for 3, 5, 8, 15 consecutive days or days in a month. Those would cover Geneva, Vaud, and the whole of Switzerland. Except some mountain trains, some cogwheel trains. Those would be, for example, 50% or other discounts. But most of all the intercity trains are all included in the Swiss pass. You do also have a local train. I believe it's from it's the Le Mans Express, I think, or Le Mans Express. Le Mans Express would be, for example, from Geneva all the way to Rocher de Naye above Montreux. So you do have, if I remember correctly, it's 5 days, so 3 days free and 2 days half fare, for example. So you have a lot of different options for travel within Switzerland. Check those on the CFF or SBB websites, definitely, because there's a lot of different ones. You have the half fare card that's also available for a whole year or a month of 50% travel on public transport. So those would be in for the TPG and TPL in Vaud, for example, in Lausanne, and also for all the trains. So there's a lot of different options you can take to instead of buying, city to city tickets.
Great, thanks, Nicholas. You might be able to answer this next question too. It's about concerning the train day pass. Can people living in neighboring France also buy one, and where? Knowing that a lot of our colleagues here at UN Geneva also are living in France.
So those, as far as we know, no, they're really for the inhabitants of Geneva. Those are to promote. They're originally to promote local travel, essentially. So if you want to get one of those, you have to buy them, and you have to prove that you live on the Genevan territory. So they will be asking for any proof that you can give for that, and they're supposed to be non-transmissible.
Okay.
But the Swiss pass would be the opportunity then, even if it's for 3 days. Quick note, the Swiss pass isn't for Swiss nationals, essentially. So if you're a Swiss national, you don't really have access. You can't technically buy the Swiss pass.
Okay, great. For our Geneva colleagues in the room, we do have a question in French. J'ai vu la rue au jardin anglais, mais elle ne tourne pas. Quand est-ce que ça ouvre?
Alors, je vois aussi qu'il y a une question concernant when we'll open the Swiss village in English Garden. So if it's, I'll answer in both languages. It will open today. Today. Yeah, today. Excuse me? In the afternoon. Yes, exactly. Mm-hmm. I know that the Ferris wheel had to for the installation, it took a little bit more time. So normally we hope that it will be working today, but the installation took a little bit more time. But the Swiss Village is opening this afternoon.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. This one is for Michael. We've got a few questions coming in about the price for the Charlie Chaplin Museum, as well as other reductions.
Very successful.
Yeah, I see that your answer was very well accepted.
So as I told before, yes, we have a specific price, and you can get the ticket at the cultural kiosk at the UNOG. But we're going to see if we can find another solution through the ticket system of the museum with a specific code. So we are going to prepare that. But for sure, at the cultural kiosk, you can get the ticket. Yeah.
Okay, great.
So if the person can't enter the Palais des Nations, either a friend of her can, who is working in the Palais des Nations can buy it for the person. It's possible. But I think that we're going to find another solution for people who can't enter the palais. Yeah.
Okay.
But anyhow, it's not that expensive. It's around 20 and something francs.
23 francs, I would say, yeah.
And there are also children.
For the museum,
children, yeah.
it's 27 francs.
27.
And now? Oh.
Yes, 27, but we have a very attractive price.
Yeah. Don't want to say it?
No.
We'll keep this secret.
Yeah, very attractive price, yes.
Can you enter the UNOG?
But you have to wait for Monday, because we will reopen the kiosk on Monday. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Great. So I think we've gone through all of the questions. We do have a final one. Is the recording going to be available? Yes. At the latest by tomorrow, the recording will be on the Commons website. We're going to head over just to the slide where we have our website, just so you know it in case you've missed it. It's commons.ungeneva.org. There you'll find the PDF slides of the presentation, as well as the recording later today, hopefully, or at the latest tomorrow. So
Natalie?
I want to thank, yes.
Sorry, I just saw a question concerning the presence of ticks in the surroundings of Geneva. Well, it's not a touristic information, but we know it is the season where it's more risky. So yes, of course, if you go hiking, so if you go in the countryside or if you go hiking in the mountains, it's good if you check after all your body to see if there is any tick. And if you go with your animals, of course, check too. And for the lake, I know that on the left bank right now, there are some puces de canard. How do you say that in English?
Duck. They call them duck lice. Yeah, duck fleas.
Yeah. So it's not dangerous, but it's good if you take a shower after. And most of the places have showers for after your bath in the lake. So just remember that.
And if you, another quick reminder, if you can swim in the Rhone River, but be mindful. It's a treacherous river. There's a lot of currents, underwater currents as well. So even if you see a lot of people, young people, go swimming in there, if you do, be careful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the lake is quite warm, like 22 degrees, I would say. So that's the perfect period to go by the side of the lake and enjoy.
Or on the lake with renting boats and pedal boats and paddling.
We can talk hours about this.
Just call us. We'll talk about it.
So Natalie, I just want to add something, because as I heard, there is many people who are very interested in reduction and special price. As I said, don't hesitate to go on CAGI website and to visit the cultural kiosk agenda, because everything is listed on the platform. So really don't hesitate to check it online.
Great. Thank you, Michael, for sharing, and also to our colleagues about the ticks as well as safety. We do want you to be as safe as possible and have a great summer. So thank you for reminding us of this.
Natalie, I just saw a question concerning the recording of the meeting. So again, yes, it will be online just as from tomorrow, right?
Exactly.
There was another question. And someone's asking, which is your favorite terrace? We don't have a favorite one, but all the ones that are on the specific slides are wonderful. The Bateau Lavoir, the Bateau de Genève, the Bronzette terrace, the pop-up terrace, but also in the parks by the river Rhône, the Barge terraces, the Lavandière, but also in the Perle du Lac. They will be installing it soon, normally. All those terraces are wonderful with different and atmospheres. So
Also in Carouge, also
Carouge
free to
is
go to
amazing.
Carouge. That's fantastic to have a drink on a terrace. Yeah, that's also fantastic. This is only like 15-20 minutes by taking the tram number 18. So Carouge is also with the bohemian atmosphere. This is also fantastic in summertime with fountains. So just have a look also on Carouge terrace.
But one of the original ones would be, for me, the Bateau Genève, because it's on an old, beautiful boat, and the atmosphere is amazing with the little lights and plants and so. But you have to try them all. You have time.
Exactly.
You have summer.
So many things to do. A good plan.
Love that answer. There are so many favorite terraces. That's good. Great. So thank you to everyone who's joined us. There have been a lot of you connecting online, so we really thank you for taking the time to be with us. If we don't see you again, have a really great summer, and we hope that you really get to have a good break and disconnect over your break. We will be back at the end of August at the Commons if you're not with us on the 9th of July next week for the masterclass. So keep up to date on our website for all of the coming events at the end of August and on past the summer. Thank you so much to our speakers for coming into the library today. Michael, Tiffany, Nicholas,
Thank
Jenna.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have a great summer.
Have a nice summer.
Wonderful.
Wonderful summer in Switzerland, in Geneva.
Exactly. Stay here.
Exactly. I also want to thank the production team behind the scenes. We have Nivert, Nadia, Ariana, Natalia. Exactly. Fabrice, Veronica. It takes a village. We really hope you've enjoyed this session, and we really hope to see you soon. So take care. Bye.